All right, so we're recording. Thanks everyone who had a chance to come and join us. So I sent out a few different emails. One is a short agenda of kind of what we're hoping to go through today, and then also the tools that we'll be using to go through and help. So everyone has a chance to go and to complete these different items yourself. Hopefully that's something you've had some time to do. If not, then please grab those, pull them out, and let's get started. I want to talk just a few minutes about what this meeting means and how we can most benefit from it. So there's a leadership coach and author, his name is John Addison, and he says that if your thinking is stinking, your dreams are shrinking. So if your thinking is stinking, your dreams are shrinking. Our goal is to have big, clear, and not small, not smelly goals here. So the vision should hopefully be great. I don't know everyone's perception of everything here, but I just want to share a few thoughts about what I think about you and what I think about us as a community. So I want to let you know what I think of when I think of who you are. So in my heart, I believe that we are all beloved sons and daughters, sons or daughters of God, literally brothers and sisters with a divine purpose to make this world a better place and to help each other become better, starting with ourselves first. So we have to do something with the good person that we are and that we become as well. So we just can't leave ourselves that way. I know a friend accepts you for who you are, but they don't leave you that way. Hopefully a really good friend is someone who accepts you for who you are and helps you become a better person. That's the goal here, is that we're able to join together as a community and to help ourselves and help each other. So we're all familiar with Elon Musk, right? Yeah, so multi-billionaire, has done amazing things. Someone once asked him to kind of give his opinion about Nikola Tesla, for whom he named his car company. So oddly, he doesn't think very highly of him, which is kind of strange, right? And the reason he stated is because he, despite his brilliance, he didn't bring his brilliance to the market to help many people. So today, I hope that we can create some plans to help more people in the market and our fellow travelers in this sojourn of life. So in order to do that, we need to think big, we need to think clear, and we need to think when. And so bring the community with you. So and also discuss like bringing a community with you so that you're more likely to succeed. So we don't want you to do this alone. I'm here to help you. My team's going to be here to help you. Hopefully we can help each other. Maybe there's a connection that we're able to make here today between each other to where you can find someone who's like, hey, maybe we could be accountability partners. And if not, that's something I'm willing to do, is to be every person here on this call's accountability partner, to where we can discuss what your goals are and what it is going to take for you to reach those goals and those successes that you're hoping for. So we need to be able to, again, to share what we're doing. And as we share what we're doing with the community, with someone else, we're more likely to have success. It's been said that the weakest ink is stronger than the strongest mind. So recording your thoughts is going to help. And then, of course, putting together a plan so those goals are not just wishes, and then putting them into practice and developing habits so that they become concrete and become something that's just natural, something that you do. There are certain things, I've set goals, but I've made habits also that are things that they're non-negotiables. It's something that happens no matter what. With that being said, I want to share also one thing here. So there's a video that I want to share with you. In high school, I was a little bit of a wrestler, and there's a guy that had a little bit of just kind of, I idolized him a little bit. He was the coach for the Iowa Hawkeyes. He was an All-American wrestler, multiple NCAA championships winner, gold medalist. He took and he coached gold medalist teams as well, or at least gold medalists, not teams, but gold medalists for the United States in the Olympics. So I want to share a video about him and about winning. It's very short, just a minute long. So please bear with me as we watch this.
I've always believed in explosiveness and aggressiveness. You put the two together, you put points on the scoreboard. He was right to the beat, and you didn't want to beat him. Didn't want to beat him. You didn't want to beat him. You understand that? You wanted time. And that's what you got, the time. You didn't want to lose. You just didn't want to lose him because he beat you twice before. You'll never win that way.
A true competitor remains aggressive throughout the entire duration of the match. Regardless of whether you win or lose, You have to be aggressive. Wrestling demands that you attack your opponent at all times. I have always had a reputation for being aggressive. That is the backbone of my philosophy. You've got to attack. If it doesn't work, use it to set up another move. The more moves that you attempt will increase your chance of scoring.
I think it's fun. So one thing he said is that you set up a next move to help you win. So everything's designed to win, right? And so the plan we're going to put together today is going to be designed to win. Just like football, just like soccer, just like almost any sport, every single play is designed to score points, score a touchdown, make a goal. And they don't always, but the goal is, the plan is to be able to reach that goal. And so if it doesn't, then you set that up for the next stage. We have to be aggressive. We have to think win. We have to move forward. We want to think about these big, hairy, audacious goals, right? Our BHAGs. What are our BHAGs? Before we get into that too much further, though, I just want to take a moment and just kind of ask a question, get some interaction. Just if anyone could please tell me maybe what's the worst transaction that you've had this year? Just the worst thing that you've had this year. And if that's something that you're kind of like, I don't know if I want to share that, then maybe you could share something that you learned this year about real estate, that something that you didn't know before. And maybe if you don't feel comfortable sharing that, maybe sharing, what's the shining light, the beacon of light, one outstanding, wonderful thing that happened this year to you. Is there anyone who would feel comfortable sharing? I wasn't sure. So I've got a few. So I'll share one. So for me, one thing that the worst transaction I had this year, I found that a self-employed borrower who put a business lien on a personal property with an LLC, then filed bankruptcy on that property or within the company. That's a bad thing because their personal house was tied to a lien on a financial endeavor that went bankrupt. And then also they were able to that was bad. I found that was unfortunate. We were able to make a refinance work for this person, but it was hard, right? So that was something I realized that was hard. It took months and we were able to figure out all sorts of different workarounds, but it was definitely something hard. Something that I learned new about real estate too is that sometimes the cleaning lady, she might end up sleeping the night at a house before an open house the next day. So she might decide to spend the night and not necessarily clean the house as well as you were hoping for. So that's something that I've learned can happen too, which is, exciting when someone walks in and finds the house a little bit in disarray and people there that shouldn't be there. That's inconvenient, right? And for me, maybe a shining beacon of light, this was that I've been able to meet some really great people and my team that I've been able to develop has been just wonderful to work with. So with that being said, let's move into here. We're going to have some of the 10 biggest wins that we've had over the last year. So if anyone could please take some time, if you've not filled this out, take some time now and let's fill this out with your 10 biggest wins you've had over the last year. Think about the last year, go back over a year ago. If you need to pull up your Facebook account, do that, or look at a journal, text messages or feeds that you might have, look through those and just kind of flow through. What are some really big wins you've had this year? What are some things that have stood out to you that have helped you grow as an individual or to be able to just enjoy life more? And as you look at those 10 things you maybe have, take some time to think of those 10, what am I most proud of? What are the few things that you're most proud of and maybe why you're most proud of them? And we're not going to get hung up on different sort of things. We're just going to let the ideas flow. We're going to move through and just see what are those things that you've had great success with. So I'm going to that's what this is going to be. We're going to take some time, go over something. We'll pause. I'll give you a moment to think, go through and fill that out. If you have questions or comments, send me a text message, comment in the message board, or just unmute and let me know, please.
I'd say for me, definitely one of my biggest ones was not only just passing my real estate exam, but then a month later making my first deal. So that was a big one for me this year.
That's fantastic, Julia. That's huge, right? Good job. Congratulations. I know so many people who've had to take the real estate exam multiple times and who have passed it by just 1 point. In fact, at one time I was taking the real estate course thinking I might be a realtor. This is in Georgia. And I remember wasn't the proctor, but the instructor mentioned that now if you want to study really hard, but if you score 1 point over the required percentage, and I think it was at 70 or 75% of the time, then you've studied too hard. And so, but the fact that you were able to, yeah, that's a great thing to do.
David, does this need to be real estate related, or it can be other things as well?
This is whole life. So anything in life. It's not just real estate, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I was able to start a new business kind of this year, kind of tied in with real estate, and then also start a nonprofit. I mean, there's just a lot of work that goes into that. So it's been a lot of puzzle pieces coming together, and finding some investors too. So I'm just really proud of that. It's taken a lot of work and a lot of effort, but here we are, which is great.
Oh, super. And Logan is saying here that he's had some success with Popeyes and bringing people bread and striking up conversations face to face. That's awesome. So if you've not finished this, that's okay. We can come back to it and finish it on your own. This is meant to be just kind of a sprinkle, just to kind of get you started. If you haven't, then go back to this and really fill this out, and just know that the more detail you put into this, the greater results you're going to be able to see. So we're going to look again some more further at this year in review. So think about your last year continued. So when you consider your wins and your losses, what did you learn last year? Where did you grow the most over the past year? We want to again be specific. As we're more specific in the different things in our minds, we're able to have more specific results in future accomplishments and ideas that we want to have. And so what was the largest risk that you took last year? And where did you grow the most relationally last year? Where did you make the wisest choice last year? Who had the greatest impact on you last year? What one word would define your last year best? For me, I don't know if there's a specific word. And again, hopefully this isn't messing up people as you're thinking, but if it is, just mute me. And then when you see the screen flash, then change. But for me, there's a phrase, and that phrase is 1 foot in front of the other, just one step at a time. This past year, stress was really on me. I'm thinking, what am I going to do about this thing and that thing and this thing and that thing? And it's just keep doing what you're doing, just kind of one step at a time. Just steady at the course, just keep going for me. And that's been very helpful.
I think for me, a big part of this past year, just not just with everything going on, but just overall, kind of just the mentality of it is what it is, and not sweating the stuff that I can't change, and just trying to do my best, not only just for work, but, with my family and my husband, and communicating kind of just, it is what it is. You can keep working hard, but not trying to focus on the past or focusing on things I can't change.
I love that. Now, when you say that, Julie, it reminds me of the phrase that we're all in lending, we're all looking for, which is a CTC on a contract, a clear to close. But also for me and my team, CTC also stands for control the controllables. If there's something we can't control, it just is what it is, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's kind of like, at the end of the day, I still have to go to sleep, and it's going to happen or it's not going to happen, whether or not I, it's, you can only do so much. up to a certain point. So absolutely.
That's right. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't go the extra mile. We don't push, right? And we go and do all that we can do, and we look under every rock and all that. And of course, focus on the most important things. Stephen Covey talks about first things first, and there's a great video online about how, take the big rocks, the most important things in your life, and focus on those first. And if you put those in first, in your box, right, or your bucket or whatever it is in life, put those big things in first, then there's room for all the other small stuff. But you got to go with the big rocks first.
Absolutely. That's a good way to put it. I like that.
Thank you.
For me, being a new agent this year, it was overwhelming. And in some ways, it demotivated me, if you will, just because of all of the things on my plate that I wanted to accomplish and not really knowing exactly where to start and what was going to be most beneficial. But I had attended a class at my brokerage firm, and the instructor said, just do it. Just do something. It doesn't. So the perfectionist in me obviously wants to have, a well laid out plan and just to be absolutely perfect from day one. And the instructor reminded me, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to start it. And then as you go along, you can work to make improvements on that process or that marketing or whatever it is that you have on your plate to do.
Perfect. When you say that, it reminds me, there's a guy, he's with Sun Systems. It's a microprocessing company out of Texas, I think an Austin area. And he's been said something to the effect of that his business plan or business strategy changes at about, I want to say it's like every 30 to 60 days, something like that, because the market shifts. And so you just, you go in best you can, and then you make those shifts and those adjustments, but you just got to get started, right?
Yep, exactly. It was just sometimes the hardest thing to do for me.
Yeah, right. But once you do that, then you're like, okay. But yeah, there's no perfect plan. It's just you've got to get started. I think there's an old Japanese proverb that said something to the effect of, there are many roads to the top of Mount Fuji, or many paths there, something to that effect. And so I think that's kind of what we're kind of going with. Like, there's lots of paths to get where we want to go, and everyone wants to kind of, reach this precipice. But we definitely understand that the person at the top of the mountain, they didn't fall there, right? It took lots of hard work, but there's lots of paths to get there for sure.
I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I think maybe we could move on to the next part, which is clarifying our values. And I think this goes really well with Steve, what you'd mentioned, like, does this just have to be real estate related? And so, no, this is what we're talking about, our values on a scale of 1 to 10. What are with 10 being the most important and 1 being unimportant, label each of the following words, and to review your 10s, we just want to see like what's most important to you in this, in your values. What do you value the most? And so let's go through this, and then we're going to compare them once against the others when we're done, and make the list. We'll go down through the 3 to 5 core values, and we'll just kind of do that. As you go through this list, it's important to realize that one word might mean something different to you than it does to someone else, but that's okay. We don't put down what the word means to you. So if we've gone through the list, maybe make some adjustments and see what are the 3 to 5 words that are most important to you. What do you want to focus on most? These 3 to 5 words. And then we'll hold on to those 3 to 5 words. And then those are essentially going to be the words that you're going to want to focus on this next year. Now, going to 5 can be hard, but if you can try to get it down to 3. Some people even have their word of the year. So what is the word for them that's going to be for the entire year? It's focus, or it's reliability, it's excellence, and so sterling. I know that was one that I've had in the past was suggested to me. That's a sterling is a word that the reason I'd want to use that because it doesn't, like sterling silver doesn't stay sterling. It doesn't stay shiny. You have to take work at it to polish it. And if it just sits dormant on the shelf, then it becomes, word cankered is the word to use, but it definitely becomes dulled. And so you have to constantly work at it. And so constantly getting better. So kind of keep those in mind, those words, 3 to 5 words, and then hopefully that's something that's going to help you. And then we're going to go on to a vision is born. So what is a vision and where do they come from? Visions are born in the soul of a man or woman who is consumed with the tension between the idea of what is and what could be. Anyone who is emotionally involved, frustrated, or brokenhearted may be even angry about the way things are in the light of the way things could be, is a candidate for a vision. Visions form in the hearts of those who are dissatisfied with the status quo. Vision often begins with the inability to accept things the way that they are. Over time, this dissatisfaction matures into a clear picture of what could be, but a vision is more than that. After all, what could be is an idea or a dream, but not necessarily a vision. A vision is something that should be and must be done. There is always a moral element to vision, and it is carried out with a sense of conviction. Anyone with a vision will tell you this is not merely something that could be done, but something that should be done and must be done. It is the element that catapults men and women out of the realm of passive concern and into action. It is the moral element that gives a vision a sense of urgency. So a vision is born here. So here we are. Here are a few sample ideas to help your vision document. First, find a place of solitude where you can think and write, a setting that inspires your creative thinking. This may be a park, a beach, a library, or the view of an quaint coffee shop from a previous experience. It is most likely not your house or your office, as there are typically too many opportunities to get distracted in those places. That being said, hopefully anyone who hasn't already, if you could maybe try to close your email, maybe mute your phone, or at least turn it on silent so that it will have just a little bit, maybe more focus here as we go through these different things, and you can have just more focused here because this is what's super going to help you this next year if you can just focus here. So as we start to create your vision for the future, you may be well served to write out your current reality first. An accurate, insightful view of your current reality is just as important as a clear vision. So we talk about like, what is frustrating me? What is creating tension in my business life now? What do I need to change in my own behavior now? What is holding me back from getting my work done now? What are some reoccurring patterns that sabotage success for me? And I would even go further to say now, right? So what's the thing right now that's preventing each of us from becoming the person that we really want to become? But more than that, than who we want to become, but who we need to become, our higher purpose, who we are meant to be. What are those things that are frustrating you becoming who you should become? In the book, The Fifth Disciple, Discipline, Peter Sergey writes about the creative tension between your current reality and the future vision and calls it the gap. The gap between vision and current reality is also a source of energy. If there is no gap, there would be no need for any action to move toward the vision. Indeed, the gap is the source of creative energy. So we're going to take about 15 minutes now, not much more than that. So just a few minutes here to write down what your current reality is. And now is the time to kind of start writing your vision. What is your reality? And then we'll come back to this later. There's not enough time.
I could, if, you know, I
Hello?
could. And I don't have to tell her Williams, but I asked her.
So take some time to write down what your current reality is. And then again, there's no filtering or wondering what you could be or what you should be or would. No judgment here. This is just you, free flowing. Who do you want to become? And then what's preventing you from becoming that person? With that in mind, I want to remind you of one thing. Sometimes we complain about certain things in our lives, whether it's a significant other, our clients, our job, where we live right now. Think about, like, if that's something that we're complaining about, also consider what would life be like if that thing was gone. So maybe the thing we're complaining about isn't necessarily the problem, because if that thing was gone, maybe life would be much worse. So keep that in mind as you're kind of going through this. And now as we get into the writing the vision document, answer these other questions in light of where you are now and what you must build in your business, your personal life, to have personal fulfillment. We'll get into that next, but just take some time now to write, please. Hopefully it's been enough time for people to kind of look things over and you're ready to move on to the next stage. Does everyone have enough time? Are you ready to move forward? Thumbs up. All right, we'll do it. We'll move forward. So we'll kind of go to this next section here. So now we want to write in the present tense and pick a specific date, starting with gratitude. What are we grateful for? What makes you say, I'm so pleased and grateful to have blank in my life today? what is my vision for my business? We want to be specific again. As we look at specifics, we're able to see specifics further expanded in our lives. So think big. This is not a time to hold back. We want to just, those big, hairy, audacious goals, those sort of things is what we want to focus on. What do we really, really want? And then what do you need to do to get what you want? It's been said many times that a goal without a plan is just a wish. And so we need to be able to put specific plans in place in order to reach those goals. And how bad do you want it? When I hear this, it makes me think of Tony Robbins, and he talks about really creating emotion within yourself. And as you're able to create that emotion, that feeling of emotion within yourself, you're able to describe it more, and it makes it more real for you. Not only is what's it feel like when you think about it, but what's it going to feel like when you have that thing you want? What's that experience going to be like? And so how bad do you want it? Does it bring you to the point where you're in tears, or where you're smiling, or to where you can just touch that thing that you want? And what's that going to represent? Is it going to represent freedom? Is it going to represent power? Is it going to represent clarity of mind and the ability to make the world a better place, to provide better for your family, or to just do the things that you want to do? Is it going to be a feeling where you don't feel compelled to have to do what other people tell you as much? So we want to kind of get to that point to where, what is that feeling going to be like for you? And at the end, write these words: I want these things, or something better. Once you have the initial vision, we're going to let you sit for 2 days before we revisit this lots of times. So that kind of brings to the next point here, is that I'm going to follow up with you to see where you are on this journey. Now, I know in 2 days, that's pretty close to Christmas, and so it might not be convenient for everyone, but it's something I'm going to follow up with you to see where you're at in this process. And on your own time, you want to reread and rewrite as you're led to. And once complete, you can share it with someone that cares about you, such as your coach, a friend, a partner, a spouse, or someone affirming with you a can-do attitude. You don't need their feedback. This is your vision alone, and simply sharing it is the point of this step. Now, some people might not feel comfortable sharing this. I often feel that sometimes my visions or my dreams might be so important to me that I don't want to have any feedback from anyone else, because I don't want to have the slightest negativity at all. And so for me, sometimes when I'm sharing thoughts, I'll write it down in my journal. This is my journal, right? So I'm writing it to me, or putting it to the cosmos, to God, to the universe, right? This is for me or my future generations to see. And so that might be something that you want to do as well, if you feel similar to that. So let this written document become your living vision for the next year or so, and your business and your life are to be lived out in accordance with it. And this also comes into play where you might want to have an accountability partner, which I'm willing to be for you. I'll be that accountability partner to help you and to help you stay on track with this. So maybe we'll move on to the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being you believe you're operating at your personal best, and 1 being you are at your worst. And so we want to rate the following areas of your business. So your spiritual, family, relationships, your finances, your business, wellness, future, and fun. And so how are you doing here on a scale of 1 to 10? And now we can plot those. And it's a little hard on this diagram here to plot it, but just kind of, maybe put something together as much as you think it is. It could be, and kind of bring your thoughts to what would this be if you could actually fill it in, right? If you could fill this in, what would be your shape? Would it be, a nice round circle? Would it have like star shapes or something else, or some sort of weird design. And then as you think about that, what are 3 disciplines that you'll try to bring closer to a 10 this next year? What are those 3 things that you think you probably need to focus on most? As you put those together, what are some little things that you could do, you could start today that could have the biggest long-term implications? This doesn't need to be on the grand scale. Just think of remember the 3 to 5 things that define you, that you know that you can do, that 3 to 5 things that you know you can do in each area of your life to move that needle closer to your 10. So as you think about each of these areas in your life, write a paragraph that expresses what your ideals in each area are. And then what does your 10 look like? Again, it's important to us to visualize what this is. What is your 10? What's that 10 going to be like for you? And write it out as if it is, not as if you'd like it to be. We want to talk about present tense. This is what it's going to be like. This is what it's like. Now this is what it's like, not what it will be like. This is what it will feel like for me. I'm going to be specific in your objectives and make sure that your actions are smart. Now, SMART goals, we've probably all been through this, right? SMART goals are the acronym: specific, measurable, actionable, relevant, time keyed or time sensitive. In some different situations it's written, exciting, not boring, and then risky. You know, it's got to be something that makes your palms sweat a little bit, that puts you out of your comfort zone. That's something that I have for myself, is that I want to be more uncomfortable on a regular basis. And so I want to take a few more risks than I might otherwise do. You know, it's said that when people think about, like, what's the number of times someone tries something new or hard before they give up? People are like, oh, you got like percentages. What's the number of times someone tries something before they give up? On average, it's 0. Most people try something never, because immediately they have that guy in the back of their mind that says, oh, you don't want to do that. Don't do that. And they don't. So as soon as you have the thought, don't let that guy in the back of your head convince you to do otherwise. Focus on what you want to do. Live your life, not the life that guy, the doubter in the back of your mind, or all the doubters, the coaches and the poor teachers and peers you've had throughout your life that are telling you you can't do what you want to do. You can't do that. Don't listen to them. Listen to you and be the best person that you can be. Listen to the God voice within you. And that's where these next pages come into play. So what does a 10 look like for you in these different areas? And so lots of places for us to fill us in. So we have your spiritual, your family, friends, finances, your business, your wellness plan, your future plan. Lots of different things there for you to fill out. Lots of, but not a ton of times. And I don't want to take up everyone's time for you to do this, but I need you to commit that you'll take some time to fill this in on your own in a quiet place, to put this together so it becomes real for you. So those are all the different places, and we're going to hit now to planning for success. So planning for success, how much income do you or did you earn in 2021? Now, some people know immediately how much money how much they made. They can see in their paychecks, okay, or their bank statements, how much income came in. But and also, it's important to recognize, was that net or was that gross? And so take that into consideration. So how much did you earn in 2021? How many transactions did you close? How many transactions were buy side? How many were on the sell side? And what was the dollar value closed in 2021? And the average commission per transaction. Some people will cut their commissions in order to get a contract. Is that something that you're doing? Is that something that you want to do in order to hopefully get more deals? Or is it something you want to stop doing so you get more money from each of your deals that you close? And then also the number of listing appointments, the number of buyer appointments, percentage of listings closed versus taken. So it'll be the number closed per number listed. And also you want to put together a percentage of buyers closed versus appointments, and numbers closed by closed and then buyer rep signed. And then listing conversion percentages, number of listing appointments per listings taken. And then buyer conversion percentages, number of buyer appointments per buyer reps. And that's something that, again, it's going to take some time for you to put together, unless you have it already. Hopefully people have taken some time to put that together and they know what those things are. And then when you have your numbers from this past year, we'll think about a little bit further about what your goals are going to be for this coming year. And if that's the benchmark, if that's what you've had, the high water mark, and you know what to measure your success from there, then we'll move forward to what you need to do in order for this next year to really make a difference in your life. So how much income do you want to earn in 2022? For me, I want to double my income from last year. Last year wasn't bad, but I put things in such a place to where, and some people think, okay, 10% every year is good. And that's good. That's good. And that's been a goal for a while, 10% each year. But this next year for me, I want to double my production. And I put together a plan that I believe is really going to help me to do that. I'm excited to share that plan with you at the end of the presentation. So average commission earned per transaction, are we going with 3%, guys? Are we going with 2.5%? Number of closings required in order to get there. So as you break these numbers down, it's going to help you to understand what it's going to take for you to reach those levels of success that you're looking for. And number of closings last 12 months. So percentage increases. And so average sale price. This is, for me, is pretty important, that your average sale price. I like that. For me, that's kind of unique because it's changing, right? Especially with loan values going up, that's going to change. And how much volume do you need in order to reach your goals? So again, neat stuff to kind of fill through, and it's going to take some time for people to do that. Does anyone need time? Should I pause or should I keep going at the pace I'm at?
I'm good if you want to keep going personally. I did my, the volume goals. So.
All right, cool. I'll just keep moving then. All right. And so then our business assessment. For some people, this is a part of your business. For others, it's not. And so, it's having your team, how is this involved? So, but for sure, we all have a business, whether we have a team that we're working with, or, what is our marketing, our budget, finances, and knowledge, attitude, growth plan, operations, and our business partnerships. How are these working? So if we could, let's take some time on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being what you believe you're operating at your personal best, and 1 being what you're worst at, what really needs a lot of attention in your business. So let's take a quick moment to do that. And as far as plotting it out on the circle graph, probably not as important. That's neat, I suppose, but not super important. But realizing what are the 3 areas that we need to focus on. Let's take a moment to look at what 1 to 3 disciplines will bring you closer to your 10 goal. Maybe it's not developing your team. Maybe it is. Maybe it's your marketing plan might be on point, but maybe you're focusing so much on gross that you're forgetting about net. And so you're spending a lot of money on marketing, on all these other things, but it's not producing the results you need it to. So maybe there's a way you need to scale something back, or make sure that you're not stepping over dollars to pick up dimes, or however you want to say that. You're spending too much money in one area, but not getting the return that you want. And there's something I have specifically in mind to share with you all at the end of the presentation. It's something that I'm working on, one of my top 3 goals that's going to help me to become better equipped to help my clients, help more people this next year, that's related to that specific thing. And maybe it's knowledge. I know some people, they have a goal, they're going to study something new every day for 10 minutes or 30 minutes every morning. Maybe our attitude needs to change. We can always change our knowledge, but our attitude, no one can do any of these things for us either, right? They're all on us. So what are the 1 to 3 things that will help bring you closer to a 10? Cool. All right. So that's essentially this presentation. I went through it pretty quick because I don't want to steal a lot of people's time. I know we planned for an hour and a half. We've been to this right in an hour right now, and you're probably all a little bit sick of hearing my voice. I'm not. I think I sound fantastic, but just kidding. So I want to share things. So in that email I sent to each of you just before the meeting started, I talked about some things that we're going to do, some 10 things that I'm offering to help each of my business partners with, and then some things about what I'm doing with my that are helping me to reach some of my goals. And then I'm going to share some other successes that other people have been able to have. And so I'm going to do a quick switch with the share of the screens here. So here we are. So conclusion. So 10 things that I'm offering to do to help my business partners. So I want to be a personal accountability partner to each of you. So if there's something that you've written down that you would like for me to help you with, whatever it is, I'm here. And it's more than just people who are live right now. I'm here for anyone who sees this video and you want to have an accountability partner, someone who can follow up with you. I'm thinking like every month or every quarter, whatever works best for you. If it needs to be every month, then I'll do that. I think every week would be hard because then things get forgotten. And so I don't think every week's going to be effective, but I think every month I'm willing to do that, where we will follow up and we can have an hour-long conversation to go through what you're doing, what you need to change. If it needs to be shorter than that, we can do that too. If it's just a quick text message, that's okay too. If it's an email, that works, but that's something I'm willing to do every month to meet with any person who wants to work on this together, needs someone else they can support them in this process. That's me. I'll be that guy. And then open houses. So if anyone needs an open house, I'm always game to be at an open house on Saturdays. Saturdays work for me best. Sundays don't work for me, but I'm happy to print open house flyers for Saturday, Sunday, or any other time. But it's just kind of a first come, first serve basis. So if I'm already at another open house, I can't make it, I can't make it. But something I'm going to be able to do. And also some sold house sold flyers for your neighbors. And so it's something that I've been able to work with another realtor on recently, to where we're able to build some. Your home just sold, and I'm going to share that with you. So your home sold. Here's some information about the open house, the house itself, like different statistics about the home, how quickly it's sold, and then to promote you as the guru of this neighborhood. So you can, when you go to pick up the sign from when the house sold, you can hand these out to all the neighbors and say, okay, yeah, I sold it in so many days. It sold for this price. I am a negotiation expert. I can help you to sell your house for higher than you think you might be able to sell it for. At least that's the expectation, right? And I'll also be able to help you to close on your next house faster than you might expect. So I'll help you get that other house. So that's something I can help you with. And then making marketing flyers. So is it a good time to buy now? What's the bid over asking price suggestion for homes? What's the cost of waiting? Right now, it's interesting. Rent nationwide is going up by about $300 per month. That's the new statistics is out today from Realtor.com. I think it's Realtor or Zillow.com. So about $300 per month is what rents are going up nationwide. Certain areas are higher than others, but on average, that's pretty high. So Colorado Springs is no different. It might even be higher than that $300 per month here in Colorado Springs. That means that if someone is going to be purchasing a house or wants to purchase a house, but they're stuck having to pay $300 more per month in rent, that's going to be a difference of about $70,000. And so if they look, I got to pay $300 more per month just to live. Well, let's figure out a way to use that $300 more per month to put it into a mortgage. And then now you can qualify for a house that is $70,000 more than you otherwise were even thinking about. So about $70,000 more you qualify for. And we know that the payment on that isn't just going away, right, to pay someone else's mortgage, it's going to pay your mortgage. And so we're looking at about a third of that, at least, hopefully, right, is going to go toward principal. And you're also creating the equity for the property. So super good stuff there if that's something that someone's interested in. And then what we also have is I'm going to be able to do weekly updates for your client interaction, something that you can expect moving forward. Every week, you're going to get an update on every interaction that either I've had or someone from my team has had with all of your clients. Of course, there's also going to be weekly updates on the loan status. So once your contract goes under contract, I'll send those out. You can expect those. Very well detailed information there for those who have not seen it. So I think it's something that's really good. And then something I offered is home bought and it's where you can have buyer leads and also homeowner leads, and have updates to your clients of information about their house. So if they're looking to buy a house, they get information about buying a home, or if they currently own a home, you get all sorts of really great information on the home that they own. And it's an over 70%, sometimes over 80% open rate on emails for an auto-generated email, which is phenomenal. And then I'm offering also buyer classes, whether those are in person or over Zoom, for first-time home buyers to turn them into an investor, or any sorts of other classes that you're interested in having. It's something I'm willing to do. Also, helping people with their credit repair, like a rapid rescore, or just credit information in general. I can provide that. I can help for you, for your clients, for also just for long-term planning for someone whose credit's really, really bad. And then the one thing that I love most about Fairway, the reason I came over to Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation in the first place, is our TBD, our to be determined address pre-underwriting, which helps us to close loans in 10 days. Something that's really, really great. So those are some things that I really want to kind of help you with in any way. We'll switch now. I'm going to go to some things that help me and that might help you as well. And that's my morning routine, kind of something that I do. It's a non-negotiable every morning, no matter what. I'll take some time for like prayer or meditation, and I'll feed my brain with something good. Maybe it's a scripture of the day. Today it was from John chapter 20, verse 21. It's something I read, and then some other stuff, but that was kind of like what the focus was. And then I went from there, exercise a little bit every day. And then something else that really helps me is intermittent fasting. So that's something that I do a few times a week. I'll do some intermittent fasting to cleanse my body and to help me to stay, have a clear mind. And of course, trying to get at least 6 hours of sleep a night. My calendar, one thing that I do in my calendar, it's kind of unique. Not a ton of people do this, I don't think, but it's something that I found really successful for me and helpful, is I do a color-coded calendar. So I'm going to share, this is my calendar. I have it color-coded out for my activities throughout the day. And it doesn't always end up exactly the way that I have it, but it's something that I try to do. Just like I mentioned earlier, in sports, every play is designed to be in football is designed to be a touchdown, right? Every interaction with the soccer ball is designed to score a goal. It doesn't always work that way, but that's the plan, that's the goal. And so these things, they change in the middle, but it's not just, I'm not just pretending like this is, it goes back months and months. This is what I tried to do. And for me, it's been successful in helping me to stay organized, so that any minute, any given time, I can think, like, what am I supposed to do here? I just got off a phone call. It was stressful. This thing just happened. What do I do? Oh, that's right. My calendar. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, and it helps me to get back on track very quickly. So for me, that's something that's been helpful. I just wanted to share that with you. And then I'll share my Sunday ritual. So church, family, I do that. And then with my family, I have a planning meeting with my spouse every Sunday. We go through the week, what's going to be going on, so that we stay together and it doesn't create those marital rifts and things that are difficult. Or, oh, I didn't know about that. I have too many of those, right? So every Sunday, that's something that we do no matter what. These are non-negotiables. And then every Sunday night, I go over my 4 things. Robert Kiyosaki, when he was doing sales, I think for Hewlett Packard or HP, this is something that he did his planning on Sunday, and then he had a head start on all of his competition for the next morning. And so let me stop the share real quick, and you guys see my screen. So my 4 to-dos, what I do is I just simply I get a piece of paper and I make a cross, right here, a plus sign, a cross right in the middle. And I talk about different things like, what am I going to do to build my business? What am I going to do to maintain my business? What are some things that I need to do with my family, my life? And then what are maybe some things that I need to do to avoid in here? And so I'll do that. And I've been doing it for so long. Here's my notebook. I have so many pages of where I have this here over and over. And then I have my notes of things that I do through the week, but it's just so many months where I do this, and it helps me to stay on track. So for me, it's, what am I doing to build my business? What am I doing to maintain my business? I want to get a really good one on here. Let's see. So what are maybe some lessons learned, and what are some personal things that I want to do? So it does change, but the 2 things that don't ever change are building and maintaining my business. But what do I need to do maybe for my team? This is for me. And then I go through and I check mark it, or I cross it through, and it helps me to stay organized. So those are some things that have really helped me. And one thing I do also every morning is I have this mantra that I read to myself. This is something that's new for me. I really like it. And it says, I was created for more. I am not designed to be one of the rabble existing on crumbs dropped by others. I'm not physically weak or mentally inferior. The history of my industry is not the history of me. Only I can determine my history. And though others may never understand the reality, I have chosen to write that history beginning now. Never again will I live as though my results were dependent upon the momentum of my peers. Neither are they tied to the economy or what experts have decided is possible. I decide what is possible. I am the author of my future. My future begins now. I am prepared to, I am alert. It is time. Today, I throw off the shackles of safety, for safety exists only for those who remain behind the lines of combat. The strong spirit I possess understands that consistent increase comes to those who embrace life's struggles. So let the lesser among us cower in the background. I will run to the roar of the battle where my history is assured. And running to the roar of the battle, on the battlefield, there's a roar. When guns are going off and people are screaming and there's just chaos and it's scary, people want to run from that. But in business, in our battle to provide for ourselves, we have to run to the roar, right? And so that is what I read every morning as I start my day. I have it as a screensaver on my laptop. That's the first thing I'm going to see, and it's easy for me to read it. I know someone else, they wrote that something that they do that's helpful for them is that they have a book that they read, right? And in that book, they write down their goals on a 3x5 note card, and they keep that in their book. So every day they open up their book, or whenever they open up their book to read, they've got their notes on that 3x5 card, and they see those notes and they read them, and it's something that's super helpful for them. They saw that on a podcast. Kaylee Hoskins shared with me. I love that. It's super great. There's some other stuff I wanted to share, but I'm going to just kind of keep rolling here. Some stuff from the CEO of my company, something that he's got some cool stuff. I got this video where he talked about how he wasn't really religious. He was raised religious, but wasn't very religious. But 13 years ago, someone gave him a Bible, and every morning for 13 years, he's read it. It's the Old and New Testament. He's read it every single day. And it's a Bible that if you read it what you're supposed to read every day, it's a daily reader. You should have read the Bible all the way through. Wasn't very religious, but so in 13 years, he's never once in a single day missed reading it. And 13 years ago was a very important time for him and for our company in this industry. And it changed our company for the better. And so whether someone's religious or not, whether they're into the Bible or something else, for him, it's just something that he said it's positive. It's helped to calm him down and to have better perspective. And he mentioned one thing that's great in there is he said that it mentions all the time about how something came to pass, didn't come to stay. And so it's really, really helpful for him about also like, show me, lead me, show me, teach me, show me, lead me, and how that's kind of a proverb that's helped him from Psalms. He also talked about donating to a higher cause and focusing more on he would give gross instead of on net. And that's been something that's helpful for him. So for it is, so 3 goals of my goals for 2022, guys. For me, I mentioned that I wanted to double my production, but I want to meet with over 100 new business referral partners, whether that's in person or on Zoom. That means 24 per quarter, 2.4 per week. But since it's going to be over 100, I want to go 3. So that's what I'm going to do. And if anyone can help me, I'd be grateful for your help to help me to be able to reach that goal. I want to double my production because more people should get great service that we provide. In order to do that, I've created a team. I've built a team here, and I'm also going to use something I want to share with you guys right now too, which is an account pyramid to use my time and resources better. So this is my new team I'm working with here: Brianna, Cheryl, Jean, Jim, Crystal, and Marco on my team to help me to do that. So it's a financial investment. It's going to be pretty expensive, but I'm excited to do it. And then I have a list of 25 other things I'm going to send to you guys as well. But let me pull up really quick here this this chart. If I can get it to pull up here. It's called an accounts pyramid.
While you're pulling that up, when you do your build, maintain, family, and then things to avoid, do you do that monthly or is that something you do like weekly?
Every Sunday.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that's what you were doing like with your wife or if that was okay. So weekly, basically.
Yeah. So we'll have a planning session together, like sometime Sunday afternoon or sometime, but at night before I go to bed. I say every Sunday. Sometimes it ends up being like Monday morning, unfortunately. Sure. But yeah, I do that, and it's been really great, really helpful for me.
Okay.
It was shared with me. There's a guy, Darren Hardy. He is a real estate phenom. He is the editor-in-chief and CEO of Success Magazine, and he was a very, very successful realtor in the San Francisco, California area prior to doing that. And it's something that he was shared with him when his real estate career kind of moved away and he went to work with Success Magazine. It was shared with him by a super successful businessman by the name of Conrad. Connie, as he's referred to. And so he shared that with him. I watched a presentation where I was part of this coaching program. And one of the things that also stuck out to me, he said, if you guys are paying as much money as you're paying for this coaching program, or you're doing this, then your minimum goal for your income should be $250,000 a year. And for me, I was like, whoa, that's a lot of money. That was not my goal, but it since has become, and it's something I want to maintain, always getting bigger and growing bigger than that. And so, but yeah, that was definitely something to share with me about that. Here's the accounts pyramid. I'm going to share this in an email with all of you, and it's broken down, and we'll start at the bottom with our prospects. We've got 50 different prospects, and then we have our top 50. So this once we break this trust barrier where they kind of get to know who we are, then we got our top 50, and they work up to our accounts, where accounts are coming from, right? And then we have our top section right there at the top of the pyramid. Where's the top 10? And we're able to break it down here. So your prospects are people you want to start referring you business, and then the top 50 are who have referred leads or closed up to 3 deals total with you, and then your accounts would be average of 1 close per quarter, and then maybe 1 close per month. Now this is kind of geared again toward lenders, right? But I definitely think it's something that can help realtors to where you can realize, all right, is the B&I group the thing that's doing it? Is it the Chamber of Commerce? Is it the cards that I'm sending out to people? Is it HomeBot? Is it my CRM that I'm contacting? Is it the Popeyes? What is the thing that's doing it? That's funneling this pyramid that's helping me to be able to reach my goals that I want to. And so that's how you can kind of figure that out. So which thing are you working on that's making the most success for you? Because sometimes we spend a lot of time on one area thinking that that's the thing that's bringing us lots of money, but really it's just the thing that we're spending a lot of time on. And like, oh, my bench press is great. Well, because you spend too much time working on your bench press, but you've got little chicken legs, and so you're not an athlete. You're just some guy who can bench a lot of weight, and so you're not a whole athlete, a whole individual. And so what's the thing that's going to be, I think, the biggest difference? So I'm going to share this with each of you in an email. And then I'm going to share another real quick video here. And then this list of 25, and we will be done. Just wanted to share. This is 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
As a realtor, I love working with Fairway because of how fast they can close. In this competitive market, it is critical to be able to close as quickly as possible, and not all lenders can close in a 30-day period, but Fairway can. So that really helps me differentiate my clients and our buyers with the competition to the listing agent.
So from the loan officer to processing to underwriting to the closing department, everyone is all communicating and working to close those loans in that short amount of time. Underwriting at Fairway is great. Your turn times are 2 to 4 days of conventional loans, no matter what time of year, which is fantastic because you can get an offer accepted on a Monday and have it approved by a Friday, and that's pretty unheard of in the mortgage industry. A loan officer could talk directly to an underwriter. You know, some places siloed, right? Like, oh, you don't talk to an underwriter, but we're all working on the same goal, which is to get that loan cleared. And if there's issues, how do we fix it and make sure we can get our client to the closing table?
Another reason why I love working with Fairway is because of the Fairway Advantage program. This program allows buyers to be pre-underwritten, which means that I can compete with cash when I'm submitting their offer. All they need is an appraisal, and we can close as quickly as 2 weeks.
The reason I love working at Fairway is because everyone cares. Everyone gets back to you. It's almost like a big family. If anyone reaches out to me, I know I'll get back to them at least within 24 hours, usually 4. Clients will reach out for a pre-approval on a Saturday, and we're able to do that within hours. Processing, if a client reaches out, they will respond almost immediately. Underwriting, if there's an issue as far as an income question or, what do you mean by this condition, we hear back instantaneously. And then once that loan gets to closing, it just flies.
As a realtor, I love working with Fairway because they can be flexible with rates. How I introduce loan officers at Fairway is that this is someone who I can trust to get the job done and who's going to do things in your best interest. If you want to rate shop, go ahead. I'm confident that Fairway can match the rate, and I want you to have a good experience.
It's that whole culture of caring about each other, but also caring about our clients that I think sets Fairway apart. It's not a transaction, it's having someone achieve the American dream.
Thanks, guys. Bearing with me with did the little plug there, but I have a list of 25 things here, and that's everything they said is true. By the way, everything they said is totally true. One of the number one goals at Fairway is not to always have the right answer. It sounds strange, right? But it was someone we reach out to. If I reach out to someone, they're not expected to have the exact right answer, everything in detail, but their expectation is to be able to respond super fast. And so if it may not be perfect, but it took me 2 days to hear back from them for the perfect answer, but it's going to be pretty close, and they're going to let me know that they're working on it within sometimes within 2 minutes or 20 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer, but usually it's not. And they're able to say, okay, we're working on this, we're getting this figured out. And that's something that's just it's amazing. I can't even say it enough. It's so wonderful. But I've been able to reach out with some top producers and got these top 25 things in order to be, if you want to be successful, right, in your industry, then these are the top 25 things. I'm going to send these out in the email too, but I'm just going to read through them super quick. Is there anything that you did this year that you'll never do again? Like, think about that. Looking for what do you want to do better next year? And that's something, how can I help you in order to do that? Looking at your source of your 2020 source of all your leads and closing, that should be 2021, my mistake. And then what were your 2021 marketing expenses, your business expenses, and then your production and volume goals? What are new marketing initiatives for each of the business pillars you have? What are we doing for your lead tracking system, your CRM database? What's happening there? Are you controlling the chaos in your life? Are you going past the initial step and stretching yourself mentally? The 30% rule. If you guys don't know the 30% rule, the 30% rule is something that the Navy SEALs talk about a lot. The 30% rule is where when you go through a point to where in training that you think, I can't do it. I'm broken. I can't go any further. This is it. I'm hit my limit. When you reach that point, the SEAL training teaches you, now you've reached 30%. There's 70% more of what you can do. So just be aware of that you can push yourself a lot farther than you might think you can. Just have to understand that 30% rule. Like, once you feel like I can't give any more, you're only at 30% most likely. There's a lot more left of the tank. Just keep pushing. You can do that. that extra thing, go that extra mile. And so if you're paying for technology and you're not using it, you need to unsubscribe from that technology. And then dial into your database to understand where your referrals are coming from. That goes back to that accounts pyramid. What are we doing? Where are those leads coming from? And then breaking down your numbers to applications. For us, again, applications per week, but this would be to contracts. What are you doing that's, and who is responsible for what and by when? And then leveraging social media with video. So video content, we know, we've heard this before, right? Video is king, but focusing on video content and setting yourself up as an industry expert, and then adding personal content as well. There's different ratios that people talk about, but just doing it, I think, is the main thing, right? Like one step in front of the other, or one step at a time, one foot in front of the other. And then also giving yourself grace and taking a moment to stop and recharge your engine. If you've lost something that you're complaining about, what would it feel like or look like? You know, if it, again, I mentioned this earlier, it's no clients, it's no significant other, is it no job, no whatever it is, right? Just kind of think about that, like, oh, maybe I need to be grateful for that thing and figure out a way to make it better. And then also empowering and serving the team that supports your business, helping to lift those around you. And then simplifying your business model, determining what's bringing you value to your partners and to your clients, and then focus on that thing. You know, and that goes back to the, you know, what's the one thing or the two things, maybe the three things that you need to do that's going to make things better. And then track your activities. It goes again back to this account pyramid to understand who is sending you business and who's sending you the best business. You might be getting a lot of business from some area, but it's just terrible, right? Like those leads that we pay for, and the email address is something you can't read out loud without being embarrassed, right? And the names are obviously fake names, and the phone numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, like you're getting a lot of leads, but are they garbage leads, or are those leads that you're getting from the neighbor and the people that you're having in your social club that are bringing you like big dollar deals that are also easy, and with people that you like and trust and that know you? And then also using the systems to build your business and make it and using marketing to enhance it, following your systems for sure. Oh, I skipped a few things. I'm sorry here. So using a weekly, plan your week using color codes. That's something that I use myself. And then engage and interact with people. Be a good listener. Use systems to build your business and use marketing to enhance it. Connect with clients and referral sources in the medium they prefer. If it's text, phone, email, find out what that thing is, and simply find out by asking, and then try to use that for them and make a note in your CRM or whatever it is that you're using to track those leads, and interact with those people that way. And maybe try to double down on interacting with clients that like interacting the same way that you do. If you're a texter, then try to figure out a client database that's going to be people who like to text as well. So that makes it easier for you. And then you're going to be able to relate with those people better. And then just a few other things. So we're called to lift each other up. So be present, listen, connect with others. And then reading can change your thinking. And if your thinking is stinking, so will be your results. Or you know, your life will be shrinking, as we talked about earlier. So that's kind of it. Hour and a half. Thank you so much for everyone for your participation. Please text me, email me, give me a call, send me a message on Facebook, and we can connect further, and I can help you with whatever it is that you're looking to do to grow your business and to make this next year better, whether it's your business or just your personal life. I'm happy just to be a friend too. So again, thanks to everyone. Does anyone have any questions or anything before I end the call? All right. Thanks for your patience. It's been fun, and I look forward to connecting again soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
For sure.